JWW on the move. Welcome everyone, Jim Williams here, coming to you from Indian Springs, Georgia. I'm standing here near the Indian Springs State Park. This is the historic hotel. Shortly we're going to go inside and see the history of Indian Springs. Thanks for joining us. Me, Mama Woo, and a couple of our friends here to enjoy the day at Indian Springs State Park. Join us and see what we find today.
The hotel's been here since 1823, and it was built by a half Muskogee Creek Indian and half Scottish man named William McIntosh. And he in partnership with his cousin Joel Bailey built this because it was a genius move to do, because there were 7 stagecoach lines that came across through here, and it crossed right at Indian Springs, and there wasn't a thing here. So they put this hotel here, and it was an overnight sensation. They'd rent you a room. They had a outside building where they cooked, so they had a restaurant. They had a humongous barn that they'd switch out horses for the stage lines, and they even had a blacksmith that worked full time just for the hotel. So they made money hand over fist right off the bat.
Wow.
But it didn't work out too good for Chief McIntosh, because the claim to fame to this place is in February of 1825, the federal government enlisted him to get the Indians to sign the first Indian removal treaty, and they signed it right here.
Huh.
Well, him being a half Scottish and half Indian, well, he was raised in both the Indian and the white world, and he was educated highly in both of them. So he was the best one to tell the Indians that y'all don't have a chance. He also, not only just being an Indian chief, he was also a brigadier general in the U.S. Army. And his boss was Andrew Jackson, and they were telling him, said, tell your people that they don't, I'll make the best deal they can, but they're leaving.
Now is that the Creek Nation?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, every tribe had their own deal.
I see.
The Cherokee to the north, they made their own deal. But bottom line, they wanted all the Indians to go out west.
Right.
And Chief McIntosh made the best deal he could, and one of his big deals was telling the Indians, he was a general in the U.S. Army. He said that when's the last time you saw an Indian war party dragging cannons? They don't have them. So, we just make the best deal we can. And the deal that he made in 1825 was 4,700,000 acres here for 4,700,000 acres in what would become Oklahoma, plus $400,000 cash. Once the treaty was ratified, which it never was ratified, the Treaty of 1825. After he'd signed it, there was Indians all through here, and that rock has a little bit of a story to it that has the plaque on it. Legend says that there was another chief named Yahulah, and I know I'm butchering his name, but I'm not Indian. But Yahulah stood on that rock, they said, and hollered through the door at McIntosh, saying that if you sign that treaty, you won't live to see the new moon. Well, he did, but not by a whole lot. McIntosh didn't live here. He actually lived about 80 miles from here, near Carrollton, on his plantation. And it was a couple months later, actually. They came over to his plantation, Yahulah and 200 of his closest friends, as Jimmy likes to say, and 7 other chiefs. And they destroyed his plantation.
Wow.
They butchered his cattle. They did everything they could to bring him out. What they finally did was set his house on fire. And when they did, they killed him. Killed him and scalped him.
Wow.
So Jimmy knows a lot more about that, and he does the downstairs part, and we'll just go from there. That's,
all right.
Pretty
well,
much
thanks for that historical record, man. I appreciate that.
That gets her started. And there wasn't anything here in 1823. So
this is the rock he was talking about.
Money right off the get-go, but in
This is it.
right here is where the trail is.
This was the beginning of the Trail of Tears, the removal of the Indians from Georgia. All right, the gentleman just told me that this is the original building. The walls, the windows, everything upstairs is still the original structure. Most of this is the original structure, except where you see new stuff, which obviously you see new stuff. The unless it's a new window, he said they're the old original windows from back in the 1800s. Place where you tie up the horses there. Stone entryway here. Original steps. Okay, we're getting ready to go in now to the tour. The tour of the hotel.
Yeah, I wish we did have an elevator. We do not.
Right here.
Oh, okay.
And like Joe Edwards told you, his father came over here to Oglethorpe to set up Savannah. And back in those days, when the English would go out and colonize, they would get the Scottish to go along with them as guards. They never brought them back.
Never brought them back.
So the Scottish, that's why around here you see so many Scottish and Indian ones that they named Sonoya, Georgia.
Ah, yeah.
And when he was a minor chief in the what they call the they had a matriarch society. The mother decided to do what happened to the kids. Today, the father in our society, he gave his last name, and the kids are taken care of, so to speak.
Or that's what he's supposed to be.
Well, I've been told that, of course, I've got 4 daughters.
I said, you can know that by your wife.
Yeah, I've got 4 daughters and all that, so they pretty well keep me straight.
Your daughters will do that.
But now, his mother, like I said, she was a daughter of the chief. So that's why he became a guy named Jackson, Andrew Jackson. And that's the bar that he signed the treaty on.
Oh,
Wow. And he signed the treaty over there, and while he was signing it, Yahuwah, the guy standing on the rock, was hollering through the window that you won't see the new moon if you sign that treaty. Well, he wasn't worried about that, because standing next to him was his first cousin. And his name was George Troup. He was named Troup County. And he was the governor of Georgia.
oh.
And he told him, he said, you sign this treaty, and I'll send soldiers to protect you. So he did. He signed that treaty. Then he left a couple of days later, and he went over to Coweta County, where he had a plantation called Acorn Bluff. Well, he left and went over there. That's where his Creek Indian wife lived. Her name was Peggy. He had 3 wives.
At the heyday here in Indian Springs, between 1860 and 1960, there were 10 of these massive hotels here in this area, and he was telling me this was the smallest one. This is amazing. This is amazing. Okay, this is the ladies' parlor.
1922, they burned it down.
Ladies'
The sheriff
parlor.
investigated. He said, well, you were correct, it's arson, but that's about as far as the investigation ever went, because back here in Prohibition, they didn't care where you, in Haddonborough, Scotland. And it was given to us by Miss Spencer. And she was 94 when she gave it to us.
Aw.
And she had outlived all of her families, and she said she didn't want it to end up in a yard sale, so she said, give it to you on 2 conditions. One, you put it in a glass case, which we would have done that anyway. But the other is that you let me come and read my Bible anytime I want. And you know, like I said, she was 94 years old. She lived another 10 years.
Wow.
Well over 100 years old.
Wow.
Then anything happened, I mean, it looks like slate, but it's wood. Hotel, it burnt in 1950 here. It was, by the time that it burnt down, it was just a restaurant, wasn't no hotel at all. But it made more to come in to here.
Now, what was the name of this hotel?
This one,
Uh-huh.
this was called the Bonner House.
The Bonner House?
Yeah, because the Bonner family owned it for 110 years,
Okay.
or 103 years, I'm sorry. But now, it didn't replace because of what was written on. And, so,
That's neat.
yeah, we don't know if the guy's name was Art or if his initials were A-R-T.
Oh.
Now, we got this box here. This is the last post office of Indian Springs. And the first of the year, the postmaster would raffle it off. And whoever won it got to put it in their store for a year. So if people had to come get their mail, they had to come to his store. So it's kind of a win-win deal there for him. This is our latest antique. It's called Curse's Writing.
Person.
Curse's Writing.
Oh.
They don't teach
Person
it
writing.
anymore.
Well, they're starting to teach it back in Florida.
Are they?
They're bringing it back.
All right, this is the gentleman's room here, the gentleman's lounge,
This here.
where they would come in and smoke and drink their whiskey and stuff.
He had 3 tables like
Oh, wow.
this one. Now, they played cards, they drank beer. This is the cards they use.
Oh, wow.
They got no letters, they got no numbers. Because nobody thought to use. This is called a Tower flintlock pistol.
Wow.
And it takes a piece of flint rock to hit a piece of steel. And if you're lucky, it'll go off. and it shot this 69 caliber round barrel, pretty heavy. And if you shot it, and he hit it, good, he's not coming. But if you missed it, you best turn this around and use it for what it's better used for. See how heavy it is?
Oh, my word. It is heavy.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
it makes a whole lot better club than it
Yeah,
does.
it would make it.
Is that where Butts County got its name? The butt of the pistol?
Just about, I guess. We cleaned it off.
1977.
It looked like that first picture right there.
This is what it looked like.
And
Covered in kudzu.
once we got it cleaned off, they decided they wanted to put it on the National Register. And you gotta get the federal government involved in that.
Mhm.
So this is what the holding up the floors.
Wow.
This rock here comes to about right here on me. And the inspector looks at it. He tells me, he says, this isn't permanent. I said, my God, man, it's been here 150 years. he says, to be on the National Register, you gotta have a cement block foundation and posted beams holding up the floor. So in order to do that, we had to jack up the whole hotel.
Wow.
And in that process, the chimneys fell off. So from this point here, back to what it looks like over here today, took us 7.5 years.
Wow.
And,
That was a lot of work.
oh yeah, and it's still a lot of work.
Yeah.
They did that.
This is an extra large door because when bad weather came along, they brought their horses inside to the men's parlor. Another reason that the women didn't like to come in here. Corn husk mop.
Yeah.
fill the holes full of corn husks, and when they all wore out, just put in more corn husks.
And how did it mop the floor though?
Well, I'm sure they use water and soap.
Use water and soap, and that would be the brush,
The
like,
scrubbing part.
the scrubbing part of it.
Yeah, this is the scrubbing part of it.
Yeah.
We got one of those.
Griswold and Greer brass frame Confederate Colt pistol. This is a reproduction of that pistol. The factory that made these was just down the road here, and when Sherman came through in his march to the sea, he burned down the pistol factory.
They don't get to be chief for a lifetime anymore. They get voted in every 4 years now. So actually, we've had several chiefs come out here, and we had one a couple of months ago here, James Floyd, and he'll be here for. I talked to him on telephone about a week ago, and he'll be here for the Indian 1,200 people here.
Wow.
So it's quite a deal. So I hope y'all can join us.
Yeah, I was thinking that I might want to drive down here for sure.
Now those, we've got 3 of them. There's one over there. The Indians actually don't like them. They think they're racist symbols, but there was a purpose to them. These were actually made in butts that has an Indian name to it, because I asked one of the chiefs why he didn't like the Braves. I don't think the Braves are making fun of anybody. But he said, well, they're using our image and all without paying us anything. So I guess there's that. But, it's like Tonto. When I was a kid and I watched Lone Ranger and Tonto, I thought Tonto was the smart one. But they don't care for him. But we've got some other things up in here. The posters and the dolls in here, they came from Mercer University. And actually, that's the coolest thing I think that we have here as far as Indian artifacts.
Look at this, Jerry.
I don't even understand the concept of a birch bark canoe, but I think it's cool.
That is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
How did it not leak?
And they mold it.
Yeah.
It's they take that birch bark and they get it wet and they mold it around something like that so that
Yeah.
they make that shape.
I couldn't tell you why it didn't leak. I probably did leak.
Probably did.
They
but
probably put pitch or something in the cracks.
I'm sure they did. They
Now-
had it in something because it would have went.
I'll tell you something occasionally, and y'all might tell me something today, but occasionally somebody takes one of these tours and they'll tell me something I didn't know, and I'll throw it into the knowledge into the tour. A lady a couple of years ago asked me if I knew why the top of this steamer trunk was curved. Do y'all know?
No.
I told her, I said, well, I'm guessing that you can put more stuff in it. And they said, well, that's probably a plus, but that's not it. Because I've got one that's got a flat top I use for a coffee table in my living room. And she said, back in the day, people would pay extra. That's kind of cool, isn't it?
Oh, okay. Say that again, please.
People back in the day, they would pay extra money to have a curved top on their steamer trunk so that their trunk it couldn't be stacked upon, so that their stuff's always going to be on the top.
Oh, okay.
And whether you're on a stagecoach or a train or whatever, your bag's going to be the first one off.
Okay, thank you.
Floors, aren't they?
These are it. When you get upstairs, there's very little that's not 200 plus years old. These windows downstairs, you see a lot of them that's been replaced. Upstairs, most of these are original.
Wow.
Because it's harder to chuck rocks that high. Back in the day, kids like to chuck rocks at these 200-year-old windows. It's a shame.
Now I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. So you were telling about Mr. Shannon?
Yes, his hobby was to ride kayaks down the Okmulgee and other places, but he's from here in Butts County, and he passed in 2017. I just started here 5 years ago, so I didn't get the pleasure of meeting him. But I meet a lot of folks that knew him, and everybody says good things about him. Jimmy used to ride kayaks down the Okmulgee with him. And most of these artifacts came from him.
Oh,
Now-
I see.
It gets better as it goes. And the rocks, you have to be educated to know what you're looking at here for this dummy here. It's supposed to be what a chief would be wearing in the 1820s. He said this was a ceremonial outfit that they had in Oklahoma. And it's kind of unique. You think about how much land you got, it's a pittance, but still.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you're right.
But
And these are all Indian chiefs?
these are all chiefs. And that one's Yahula that you're in front of there.
Right.
Yes, Uhula's the one who had him killed.
Yes, Yahuwah got the other 7 chiefs together and 200 warriors, and they went 80 miles from here near Carrollton, and they basically destroyed his plantation, and they couldn't get him to come out until they set his house on fire. When they did that, he came out, and Yahuwah said, "Who would like?"
I'm gonna go ahead. I'm listening. Go
Well,
ahead.
Manoah actually died on the Trail of Tears. He's buried in an unmarked grave on the Trail of Tears. So it really didn't work out well for him at all. Trails.
Okay.
It's a baby buffalo, and I don't know anything about it really. I just it's the daughter of the fellow that runs Dawson Trails had told me that her father gifted that to the museum. And
Okay.
truly small these rooms were.
Oh, that's you. So this used to be 2 rooms.
Yes, and all the rest of the rooms you go in today are going to be that way. There's a divider, and that wouldn't have been a window back in the day. That would have been a door. Now this painting up here, we acquired it last year. It was from the post office. Did y'all ever see that in the post office in Jackson?
I know. No.
Well, it was in the post office in Jackson from the year 1940 until last year when our boss lady actually acquired it from the U.S. Post Office or postal people in Washington D.C. It took an act of Congress to get it practically, but Miss Frankie Willis got it. She pulled strings and actually got it. And the thing is, this is a CCC sponsored thing that President Roosevelt put together to put out of work artists to work.
Driver too.
Who did he work for? People asked me, how in the world do you divide a fireplace? There's a very simple answer. It wasn't a fireplace until Miss Joe, and that's Miss Joe on the far picture, took over in 1864.
1864?
Yes, ma'am. She ran this place from 1864 until her death in 1928. Her father, Edward Varner, he ran this place from 1850 until 1864. When he unfortunately lost his mind, it was over the Civil War. He had 3 boys in the Civil War, and the very first one died in June of 1862 in Virginia of disease. Well, within a month, on the first day of July 1862, the second son was killed at Malvern Hill, Virginia. In 1863, his third son came home with 1 arm. And 1864, the Yankees come beat on the door and they want to know who ran this hotel. Edward Varner said it'd be me. They took him out back and hung him. I got that from his family down in Jones County that still lives there. They took him down and said, "You ready to tell us where the rebel army is?" And I don't know, I just run a hotel. Well, they hung him some more. And finally I said, well, maybe he doesn't know anything. As a result, he wound up in Milledgeville where he stayed for 5 years and died in 1869. Meanwhile, somebody's got to run this place. And the mother, that's the mother right there, Cynthia, she never had any business sense. She just really didn't care for it. And actually, the baby of the family is Miss Joe. That's Miss Joe at the end. She had an older sister, Miss Amanda, and she had the older brother at the house at the time too that had the 1 arm. But Miss Joe, I can see color of her eyes. But now, there's no running water in here. So you know, people in the daytime they'd go to the outhouse out there, and nighttime they use that slop jar thing.
Yeah.
And she got something a little better. Have you ever seen? This is something you. Well, that's actually the bed that Miss Joe died in.
Okay. This is a bed that she died in.
Yeah, and Miss Amanda died in it in 1915. Miss Joe died in it in 1928.
Look over there at the baby carriage too, Jan.
I'm coming.
That was it.
I'm
Have
going.
you seen the mansion in Jackson, the Carmichael Mansion?
Yes.
Well, they made their money making Surreys and buggies, and they made this one just special order. But it's kind of cool.
Yeah, I go by there all the time because my sister's at Westbury.
Yeah,
And and so I go by there.
I took it too.
I'll drive y'all by there.
it's pretty cool. And
It
it
is.
was 1898, and in 1898 they actually had electricity. They had their own
Is that when
generator.
they built it in 1898?
1898.
1898.
And they went out of business in 1917, but people like that, once you're that rich, you tend to stay rich. And I write them a big check at least once a year because they're my insurance people, the Carmichael Insurance.
Carmichael's.
No, is this house? Is that one of the places there? That house?
Now
there?
that house, June, that house, we'll go by there on the way home.
What is that house?
Carmichael Mansion. They actually make buggies and surreys in Jackson.
Okay.
They owned the company that made this buggy right here.
Macintosh would stay whenever he was here.
Uh-huh.
And he didn't stay here very many times because he lived 80 miles from here.
This is the Indian chief.
Yep. And he was he's smart in the white world and the Indian world, wasn't very good at math because does that look like 50% to you? He took a little bit more. But he liked this room because it's a little bit larger and it's the only room in the whole place that had a fireplace in it from day one, 1823.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
But he built this place in 1823 and they killed him in April of 1825, so I doubt he spent too many
Much
days.
time here.
But
In Dalton, there's an Indian chief in Dalton. Do you know who he is?
I wouldn't know.
When I drive through Dalton, they have pictures of somebody who looks a lot like that, but he has in Dalton, he had something to do with not Dalton, in,
4 grades, great grandson of Chief McIntosh. And if you come to the festival, you'll probably meet him. He's a really cool guy. He's funny. I like him. He's a retired preacher from California. Just a super nice guy. Now, you remember Chief Nakahoma?
yeah, oh yeah.
We were able to get an autographed card of him.
Was he I know it killed by men.
They can wait. I mean, they can.
Muskogee Creek was.
No, Muskogee, he was not. He's it's a tribe that I've never heard of. I looked him up on my telephone just to what tribe was Chief Nakahoma of. His name was Levi Walker.
Levi Walker.
Yeah, but he's from Michigan and he's from a tribe up there I've never heard of.
Yeah, right.
But he is 100% Indian. He was a pretty cool guy.
Yeah. He's probably a character.
He was that. But she's talking about they had a pet skunk, and he was totally opposed to sleeping in beds.
Oh.
And so he brought his sleeping bag in. They were going to go hunting the next day, and he's on the floor and said the skunk had been hiding all day. Tell I'd be right here all day long. You know, back in the day,
the wraparound porches are so wonderful.
Yes, 3/4 upstairs, and it's all the way downstairs. Now, this ceiling up here, it's painted a specific color. Do y'all know what it is?
Gray.
Paint blue.
Oh, blue.
I looked it up. That's another thing that somebody from a tour taught me. It said back in the day there was 3 reasons they would paint it paint blue, and there was a haint blue and a haint green. But it's very similar color. But they said 1, bugs don't like it, which is a lie, because we got wasps all over the place. 2, they said birds.
Here we are at the Indian Springs Hotel Gardens, established in 1990 and dedicated to Elizabeth Harris, the former First Lady of Georgia. So we're going to go in here to see the gardens, this beautiful place here. A lot of roses, crepe myrtles. As y'all know, I love flowers. butterfly over there. There goes the butterfly. Black-eyed Susans. They're beautiful. See a lot of those around here.
I'm going to teach you a song. You probably have never heard it, but after today, you'll know it. I'm going to teach you the refrain, the chorus of the song. And that's what I want you to sing along with me. Here's the way the chorus goes. Be strong, be strong, be strong in the Lord, and be of good courage, for he is your guide. Be strong, be strong, be strong in the Lord, and rejoice, for the victory is yours. Okay, sing it with me this time. I'll put the words on the screen for you. Be strong, be strong, be strong in the Lord, and be of good courage, for he is your guide. Be strong, be strong, be strong in the Lord, and rejoice, for the victory is yours. Got it now? Now, I want you to sing along on that chorus, on the refrain, after I sing a verse. Okay, let's see how it goes. I'll start the verse first. Be strong in the Lord, and be of good courage. Your mighty defender is always the same. Mount up with wings as eagles ascending. Victory is yours when you call on his name. You ready? Be strong, be strong, be strong in the Lord, and be of good courage, for he is your guide. Be strong, be strong, be strong in the Lord, and rejoice, for the victory is yours. My turn. So put on the armor the Lord has provided, and place your defense in his unfailing care. Trust him, for he will be with you in battle, lighting your path to avoid every snare. Be strong, be strong, be strong in the Lord, and be of good courage, for he is your guide. Be strong, be strong, be strong in the Lord, and rejoice, for the victory is yours. One more verse. Be strong in the Lord, and be of good courage. Your mighty commander will vanquish the foe. Fear not the battle, for the victory is always his. He will protect you wherever you go. Be strong, be strong, be strong in the Lord, and be of good courage, for he is your guide. Be strong, be strong, be strong in the Lord, and rejoice, for the victory is yours. Thanks for singing with me. Well, that's going to do it for this video. So we're going to be shutting down for the night, and if the Lord wills, we'll see you in the next video. God bless. Goodbye.